Rediscover your past by digitizing your family's memories with LEGACYBOX. Watch until the end of this video to find out more about preserving your legacy, and then visit legacybox.com/recollection. 1963 was a year that changed history. There were peaceful civil rights protests that turned violent in Birmingham. The Beatles were skyrocketing to fame in England, and by the end of the year, nearly 190 million Americans would be mourning the loss of their leader. January 14th brought us a controversial political speech during the inauguration of George Wallace as governor of Alabama. Wallace defiantly declared segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. January 29th saw the inaugural class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which included some football legends like Jim Thorpe, Red Grange, and George Halas, among others. The Pro Football Hall of Fame would open later in the year in Canton, Ohio. On February 11th, American audiences were introduced to a new TV personality when Julia Child's cooking program, The French Chef, premiered in Boston. Her enthusiastic, sometimes unconventional approach would help transform cooking shows into a television staple. February 19th brought the publication of Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique. The book challenged traditional ideas about women's roles in American society and helped ignite a renewed women's movement that would continue to grow. March 5th brought tragedy to country music when Patsy Cline, Hawkshaw Hawkins, and Cowboy Copas were killed when their plane crashed in Camden, Tennessee, due to high winds and bad weather. Cline was only 30 years old, but her voice had already made her one of country music's biggest stars. On March 21st, Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary officially closed. The infamous prison in San Francisco Bay had housed some of America's most notorious criminals, but its high operating costs and deteriorating facilities eventually led the government to shut it down. March 22nd marked the beginning for the Beatles. This is when they released their first album, Please Please Me, in the United Kingdom. The album captured the energy of the group and helped establish them as one of the biggest new acts in music. April 10th brought another devastating tragedy when the nuclear submarine USS Thresher sank off the coast of Cape Cod. All 129 people aboard were killed, making it the deadliest submarine disaster in U.S. history at the time. Just 2 days later, on April 12th, Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders were arrested during demonstrations in Birmingham, Alabama. While in jail, King wrote his famous Letter from Birmingham Jail, defending nonviolent protests against racial segregation. By May 1st, Americans had a new choice when it came to soft drinks. Coca-Cola introduced Tab, its first diet soft drink. It would become especially popular with people looking for a low-calorie alternative to traditional soda. On May 2nd, thousands of African Americans, including many children, were arrested during protests in Birmingham, Alabama. Public Safety Commissioner Bull Connor ordered police to use fire hoses and police dogs against protesters. The photographs and televised images of the brutality shocked Americans. July 1st brought a small change that would eventually become part of everyday American life. Zip codes were introduced across the United States, making it easier for the growing postal service to sort and deliver mail. On August 7th, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy gave birth to baby Patrick Kennedy, becoming the first sitting First Lady since Frances Cleveland in 1895 to give birth. Tragically, the infant died only 3 days later. On August 28th, more than 250,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. for the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, Martin Luther King delivered his historic "I Have a Dream" speech, one of the most famous speeches in American history. On September 13th, Texas-born entrepreneur Mary Kay Ash launched a cosmetic company in Dallas with her $5,000 life savings and the help of her 20-year-old son, Richard Rogers. Mary Kay would become an empire with revenue of more than $3.5 billion and salespeople in dozens of countries. More violence rocked Birmingham, Alabama on September 15th. A bomb planted by 4 Ku Klux Klan members exploded at the 16th Street Baptist Church, killing 4 young African-American girls. Justice for these girls would hardly come, with many years passing before any conviction. September 16th brought the premiere of The Outer Limits on ABC, adding another science fiction series to a decade increasingly fascinated with space, technology, and the unknown. November 22nd was a dark day in our history. President John F. Kennedy traveled to Dallas, Texas, as he kicked off his re-election campaign. As his open motorcade passed through Dealey Plaza, shots were fired, and Kennedy was fatally wounded. Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in as the 36th president prior to the flight back to Washington, D.C. Then, on November 24th, the nation witnessed another shocking event on live television. Accused JFK assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was being escorted through the Dallas police station when a nightclub owner named Jack Ruby stepped forward, shooting and killing him. Millions of Americans watched live as the killing happened. On November 29th, President Johnson established the Warren Commission to investigate Kennedy's assassination. Its eventual report would become one of the most debated documents in American history. On December 8th, Frank Sinatra Jr., the son of crooner Frank Sinatra, was kidnapped from a hotel in Lake Tahoe. The kidnappers demanded a ransom, and after Sinatra paid $240,000, his son was released. The 3 kidnappers were swiftly captured by the FBI. And then, on December 26th, something very different arrived from England. The Beatles released I Want to Hold Your Hand and I Saw Her Standing There in the United States. Within weeks, the young British group would ignite Beatlemania and help usher American popular culture into a completely new era. Recollection Road and LEGACYBOX both believe it's important to preserve the past. If you're like me, there's a box of your family's treasured home movies and photos tucked away somewhere, and LEGACYBOX can help you preserve them digitally. The process is a simple and safe solution for converting your home movies and photos to thumb drive or to the cloud. Just send in your LEGACYBOX filled with old VHS and camcorder tapes, film reels, and pictures, and get back digital copies that can be easily enjoyed, shared, and kept organized. It's that easy. LEGACYBOX is trusted by over 1 million people, and it's all done right here in the USA. Get started preserving your past today. Go to LEGACYBOX.com/recollection to get an incredible 55% off. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send in your memories when you're ready. Go to LEGACYBOX.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt. Thank you to our loyal Patreon supporters listed here. Visit patreon.com/recollectionroad to join the club.